up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
I mean, it was all right, dog.
Man, Rogue One.
Rogue One was all right.
Rogue One was legit, man. I enjoyed Rogue One.
A lot of people give me shit because I give Rogue One shit. But the thing with Rogue One, and I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but when you go outside of the trilogies, and here's the thing with Rogue One, you don't really care about any of the characters. You know what I mean? And I've said this before, and I always
How do you not?
So many people didn't even know their names. You didn't even know Andor or Joe. What is her name? Urso, whatever the fuck. It's just so. But look, dude, there's no like. I mean, yeah, the ending is the dopest with Darth Vader, but really, man, you don't care about any of the characters because you know they're all. I mean, I knew they were all going to die in the end because they had to because. You know, they're not in the trilogy, and that was part of, you know, spies dying to get that information out.
Well, I'll say this. I didn't know that they were going to die in the end because
not a real fan, you know, that's all. I get it.
Hey, look, I have never, look, I'm not going to feel bad about that because I have never been a card carrying, you know, sign toting Star Wars.
Like you're a Marvel guy. You know the Marvel details way more than me because I don't really know the comic books.
Okay.
But with Star Wars, yeah, I mean, there's a few things. I mean, John Williams didn't do the music to this one. It jumps all around, you know, they're going all around. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, that's all right. And you know, look, it's still good. I'll still watch it when it's on. I do like a lot that is in it. I don't really care about Forrest Whitaker looking like Osama bin Laden out in the fucking desert. And like, dude, you know, I don't know.
Dude, you're losing sight. You're losing
sight. It's fine. But my point is, do we need a prequel?
It's about the story.
It's fine. And I like this and I like it. It's good. But do we need a prequel like you know, called Andor on, you know, of it? Like, who cares?
Look, do we need a prequel for anything? Really? Right? Do we need a prequel for anything?
Well, hey, you know. Hey.
No, I mean, look, I like the prequels. In this case, I thought the story was good. Now, not being a hardcore, does that cup have a hole in it?
So my Vietnamese family, went to Portland, and they went to the Voodoo Donut Shop and got me this new coffee. So there it is, baby.
Dude, that looks like a sex toy. Let's just.
Oh yeah, honest. Well it says on the back, the magic is in the hole. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. Thank you to funny. The fam.
Okay, so. Personally, not being a big time Star Wars fan, hardcore card carrying fan like you.
Oh, wait, we should introduce first. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is the slowest man podcasting, Reggie Steele.
Hey, welcome to Spitballin. Dude, you just interrupt me right in the middle of my thought.
My bad.
Talk for like 2 minutes.
That's part of my MO.
Yeah, I know, right? What I was going to say, hey, welcome. Hey, folks, thanks for Sal likes to start the podcast right in the middle of our conversation because we start talking and then he's like, hold up, record.
Yeah, I'd rather get the good stuff while I can.
All I was going to say was it was a good story, man. Right? It's the art of it's the art of storytelling. So now you want to get into John Williams and who composed the music, and you want to get into the names of the characters, and you want to know that they were not going to.
The characters are kind of boring. Like if you're a kid, you're not going to be like, man, I gotta get me that Andor action figure. It was like Luke, Han, Vader, like that was it. This is like, okay, a bunch of nobodies in a one piece. But look, I'm gonna be honest, I like Solo more. Yeah, I said it. Fucking Solo was better. And because I mean, the way they met with Han and Chewie, and let me tell you something. And I'm pissed because there would have been a sequel, but stupid The Last Jedi ruined it because it didn't do so well compared to other Star Wars films. And then they released Solo 6 months later, the soonest they've ever released 2 Star Wars films next to each other. And I think, you know, that took a little of the heat off of it. And I was a little bummed.
And look, I'll say this, as far as Solo's concerned, I mean, Solo was fun because you get to see how he and Chewie meet.
I love that part. And here's another thing. Han Solo is one of the biggest characters of film. That's a hard part to do. Yeah, and I thought that guy did it well.
You did all right.
After
think
like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, he's Han Solo. This is fine. Let's do it.
that's funny. Personally, I didn't think the story was that great. That's what I'm saying with Rogue One. I thought the story was phenomenal in Rogue One. I thought it was a really good story. And I thought they did a good job of telling that story. Now, not being a hardcore fan like you, who's devoted to the names of the characters and the history and the music and the whole everything that's surrounding and telling the story, I'm saying that it was just a good story.
It was a little dorky when they're trying to get the CDs at the end. Put your arms in there and get the CD drive out. That's the plans to the Death Star. Yeah,
that's funny. And also, like you just said, we got to see Vader.
That
Vader
part was cool. So now,
dude, we got to see Vader go full Vader. We've never seen, prior to that, we'd never seen Vader go full
because
Vader.
We didn't have the CGI effects to be able to do that.
Exactly.
But and that's what's makes Obi-Wan cool, because it's almost like an addition to that.
Yes, Obi-Wan took Vader to the next level, to the point that you and I've had this discussion that Vader may be arguably one of the worst villains.
Bad as hell, man.
In history.
Even now, still, who's better? Who's a better villain?
Who's a better
than Darth Vader?
MF Doom.
No one even knows who the fuck that is.
Dude, I'm telling you, in Marvel,
Mario.
Who doesn't know who Doom is? MF Doom? You don't know who Doom is? Fantastic Four, the villain, the bad guy.
Dr. Doom?
Dr. Doom. I'm sorry, I said MF Doom. That's the rapper who passed away. RIP to MF Doom. Dr. Doom, my bad. Dr. Doom.
Man, forget Dr. Doom. Dude, Darth Vader's way better than Dr. Doom.
In the comic book.
You're killing me.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, in the comic book, Dr. Doom wanted to know what made the gods immortal. So he started catching gods. And this is like Asgard gods.
Fuck?
Dude, he started catching gods. He would kidnap them. And in the comic book,
catching gods like fireflies.
Dude, in the comic book, he started doing vivisections. You know what that is?
No.
That's where you start dissecting people while they're still alive and conscious. In the comic books, this shit was graphic as hell. This dude is like trying to figure out what makes the gods immortal and how he could attain that immortality. And so in the comic books, you see this dude literally having these people strapped down and being held and open up their chest cavities and pulling. And what he realizes is that no matter what he did to them physically, they always stayed alive until he took the heart out, right? He'd take the heart out and then they would die. But then when you put the heart back close to them, their bodies would start to regenerate. And if you put it in, then they come back to life. Dude, it was next level. I was like, yo, this dude is awful. He's straight up, he dissecting people. Come on, man.
Darth Vader would fuck up Dr. Doom.
Are you serious? Well, because he's got the Force.
That Force, and he behead him. He cut that metal dome right off his head.
Hey, dude, I'm telling you right now, MF Doom also has powers. He can send
you don't
electricity.
Think the Force is a power?
I think the Force is a power. I think that I would say this. I think they're evenly matched. That's it. That's what I'll just say.
Nah, dude, no draws in this game.
I think they're evenly matched.
Vader will fuck him.
There's no way to tell. There's no way to tell. Who's gonna know? Like
anyway, there's a prequel now called Andor. There it
Andor.
Is. What do?
There we go. All right.
Andor. I loved Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan was great.
Obi-Wan's phenomenal.
I've been rewatching it in parts, and I still love it. It's awesome, and it's cool when you watch it the second time, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't know that's how y'all did that." Like they can almost. It's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to give any spoilers. You've seen it all, though.
Yeah, I have, and it was
like just like the opening shot revealed so much.
Oh, talking about him on the island. I mean, the desert.
The whole series. No, of Obi-Wan. The whole series of Obi-Wan. When they show the very beginning when they're attacking the temple 10 years earlier.
Oh,
the little younglings.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that shit is so telling, and you're like, how did I not see that?
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. I got to go back and watch it again, though. I got to go back and watch it again.
It's great.
It is. Okay. Well, I'm sure that our Star Wars fans really enjoy that, and then our non-Star Wars fans are like, I'll move on.
I'll vote up there on the Marvel verse. I can't believe you picked Dr. Doom, dude. Dr.
Doom is one. Look, I played this game, Marvel Contest of Champions, and I'm telling you right now, Dr. Doom,
because he's good in the game. Vader will fuck him up. Vader don't got no soul. He doesn't care.
This is why I love you. This is why I love you. I love how I love your conviction. Vader will fuck him up, right? Like you're just so hardcore. You're so
It's like,
into
get
it.
out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr.
Neither
Doom would go,
you
he'd be like this. He'd be like, hi, I'm Doctor. You couldn't talk anymore. And be, that's it, son. Doctor
you
done.
realize that both of these characters are completely made up, and we
Yeah,
can keep
well.
adding powers to them. We can keep adding powers to them. So when Darth Vader's doing his little thing, then Doctor Doom can block it with his mental powers like Professor X, and he can be like, ugh, and then he can switch it around, and all of a sudden Darth Vader's now feeling what it's like. He's like,
All right, so Doctor Doom. Okay, so what? It's funny you picked Doctor Doom of all people. Like, what about like Thanos or somebody? Wouldn't he be a badass?
well, we saw Thanos get dealt with.
Well, we've seen Doctor Doom get dealt with in a couple of the Fantastic Four movies now.
Yeah, but that's in the movies. In the reality, Doctor Doom doesn't get dealt with. And the thing that makes Thanos incredible is that Thanos has the Infinity Stones. That's what makes him invincible.
So once he loses that, he ain't all that.
Yeah, exactly. After that, I mean, he's just a big tough dude. He's
he didn't have
strong.
he didn't have all the Infinity Stones, and he fucked up the Hulk.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He's a Titan. He's a big dude. Like he's a strong dude. I mean, straight up, you talk about a scene, that opening scene on the ship. When the Hulk is getting dealt with.
Yeah, right? He's like, we got a Hulk. And they're like, all right. And they're like, oh shit, Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk getting dealt with. And then later on, which I thought was hilarious, later on when Bruce Banner's like, all right, come on, let's go. And the Hulk is like, no.
Yeah, that's what kind of sucks about it, because the Hulk kind of is gone. He's not really in it.
Yeah.
In the Infinity War Avengers ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I love them in the third Thor. That one's great. In Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok. Oh, it was incredible. That was awesome. I was so mad when Jeff Goldblum, what's he called? He's called the Master? No, not the Master, but the
I forgot what he's called.
I forget what his name, but Jeff Goldblum, the character he plays, when Thor is literally on the verge of like putting an end to this joint, he's like, and his eyes start glowing, and your boy is like, oh no, my champion's gonna get beat. It's like, oh, we was about to see it. We were literally about to see.
That's like, by far the funniest one.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
great.
Of all those movies.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna look up what he's called right now. He is. Where did you go, dude? Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster. I knew it was Master, but the Grandmaster. Okay.
Man,
so yeah, man.
It's funny.
Yeah, man. So, how you been?
I'm cool, Rich. I'm cool. People liked the last week's podcast, or 2 weeks ago. We didn't do it last week, but 2 weeks ago we had Charlene on, and people liked her story.
I loved her story. Like I went back and watched it, and man, it's so revealing, like so educational in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
I would love. I
saw her later that weekend at an outdoor party that these guys do. They show movies. They've been showing some movies outside in their backyard, so it's been pretty cool. And hooked me up with some more joints. So that was nice.
Dude, are you what do they call people who smoke weed all the time?
A pothead.
Pothead. Are you a pothead, dude?
Sometimes. All right, so
it's
relaxing.
How much do you smoke? How much do you smoke?
I don't do like joints usually. I only do them if I'm outdoors at a party. But then I'll have like a little pipe, and then I'll have like a couple hits, and that'll last me for like, a few hours or whatever.
A couple hits, 2 hits will last you a few hours. That's it.
Yeah, usually. Yeah. You don't need because I don't really I don't get stuff that's too strong or anything, because I've known guys like, then there's a whole thing now called waxing, where they take all the THC and they form into like a little wax, and then you got to hit it with like a blowtorch to inhale it. But it's like, it's one hit is like smoking an entire joint, and it'll fuck you up. Like I had a whole bit about it, because I did it. First time I ever did it was in Portland when I passed out. Yeah. And that was before it was even like a thing. And as when I passed out, it was pretty funny. And then Yeah, so I don't really like to fuck with that. But yeah, so but
So you'll do it
a little
twice a
bit.
week, once a week, twice a
Oh,
week,
every
three
day
times a week.
usually every day. It
Are
depends if
you
you really got
serious?
something going down. Oh, what hit it a couple hits. Yeah, man, it's just some weed, bro. So you have a
Okay.
coffee and weed, baby.
All right,
All
all right.
right,
I guess
so
that's all right. I mean, look, there's no judgment. I'm just curious, right? Because I mean, it's legal. But I'm saying right now,
yeah,
San Francisco smells like a hot box, bro. Like you come up here and it's just weed everywhere all the time. Yo,
yes.
I saw something the other day that blew me away. I saw a lady smoking a cigarette and hitting a vape pen. I was like, who does that? Now maybe the vape pen had THC in it or something, but
Probably,
who
yeah.
smokes a cigarette taking
I mean, I
smoke and
remember when
nicotine
I
and
first
carcinogens?
smoked weed, like nothing felt better than smoking a cigarette afterwards.
Really?
And I remember because like when I first moved out on my own, I was like 20, and like man, I had no money. Like I ain't got money now, but back then I had no money, and I was like, but I was living at like my mom's moved got remarried and moved down to Florida, so I rented out my place that I grew up in with
Okay.
my two buddies, and my rent was hella cheap, and I had a job. I was going to college, and but I didn't have wasn't making much money, so I would smoke cigarettes sometimes to kill hunger pains, and that's how I kind of got into it. And
Is that how you keep your svelte
right, well, yeah, that's
lean
like
look?
that's a lot of people when they give up smoking, they put on weight, and that's why, because smoking doesn't make you want to eat as much. But
So wait.
but
So smoking cigarettes will suppress your appetite, is what you're saying?
yes, I believe so.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe so. And then
Okay.
but nothing. Then you ever see the movie Stand by Me?
Yes. I
River
mean, it's been a
Phoenix.
long time. Yeah.
Right, but there's a part where they eat and then they have a cigarette, and he goes, nothing like smoking a cigarette after a meal. And like I always felt like that when I was living on my own at
Really?
the time. If you ate and then you smoked, it was just like a. But then I got off of that in college because that shit is addicting and terrible for you.
Yeah, cigarettes suck. And I'm just gonna
Yeah,
tell you right now, if you smell like cigarettes, then yo, it's a wrap, bro. Like
yeah,
nothing worse.
that's no good.
It's
That's
no
no
good.
good.
It's no
All
good.
right, so
Yo,
I was looking at these comments, Reg. I wanted to share some comments we came
well, hold up though.
across.
Before we get to that, I want to ask you this because you never mentioned this. You talk about it, you'll say something about it every once in a while, but you never go into details. So I'm just curious. You're saying that your mom got remarried after your mom and your dad divorced, but you never talk
Right.
about your stepdad. Like,
Oh,
who
that guy
was
was
he?
only around for 9 months. So the whole time I lived in that place, my mom was with this guy down in Florida. And then, like, I don't know, she thought he was like a little pervert. So she ended up divorcing him
Why
and
did she
moving
think he was a
back up.
perv?
Supposedly, like, she was like, he had this secret room that she could never get into and it was locked. And then, like, she got in through it one time, like through the window or something. There was a
Oh my
bunch of like
god.
naked paintings or pictures or something. I never got the details. We should have my mom on and ask about that. And then during this 9 month period, my brother got married.
Oh, this
And
dude just froze. Oh, there you go.
you see me?
I do, but your sound and your video is off now.
That's weird. It's fine on my end.
Oh, there you go. Okay, you're back. Because you froze just for a second.
All right. So anyway,
Okay.
my brother got
So
married during this time, during this 9 months, right?
your brother or your mother?
My brother.
Your brother got
My
married.
mom was
Okay.
already married.
She's already married to the
Okay. Yeah.
perv
This was
with the secret
yeah.
room. Okay.
Yeah, the guy with the secret room, right? So
Right.
she got and then she moves down to Florida with this guy, and then like 3 months into it, my brother gets married, or 4 months. So she comes up for the wedding, and I remember I go to the wedding, and I got pretty drunk at the wedding, and he came up to me, this guy, and they have like the guest book to sign. And he
Yeah.
like wrote in like some fake name, like Ben Dover or whatever.
Oh, he's being stupid.
Stupid
Okay.
like that,
Yeah.
right? And so
Right.
I was drunk and I wrote like one or two with him, and he took the book and then he went off, put it, and then like a week later or something, like my brother's wife got all pissed because the guest book was all ruined with
these fake names.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, man.
Dover.
And his name was like Terry Budd. I'm like, Terry Budd did it, man. He brought it over to me.
Terry Budd, Ben Dover. How about
no, that was his real name.
Fillmore Butts. Fillmore
yeah.
Butts.
Seymour Butts.
Seymour Butts. D's. Mr. D's.
CD's nuts.
Mr. D's.
Yeah, so it was. So then anyway, yeah, she broke up with that dude. Yeah, so I barely, even knew the dude. I only saw him.
But how long did they go out for before they got married? There was some courtship, right?
I don't know, dude.
Why did she marry him, I wonder?
I don't know, dude. People just trying to look for somebody.
Everyone's looking for like love.
You'll put up
connection.
With. I remember, yeah, man. It was.
Well, hold up though. This is the other one. I'm just curious about. So, she didn't know about the secret room before they got married, or did she?
It's that, or even his house, because I think they met in Ohio. Like I don't even know how it all went down. I never really
know about the secret room. I want to know. I want to know what was in the secret room. Dude.
Oh well, we should have her on and ask. Seriously, about it.
I mean, I feel like this, there was enough in there that she was like after she broke in, she's like, she lifted the window up. She's like, yep. It's a wrap. It's over.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he was a little pervy. She might be tough to talk about it. I don't know. But and it was funny because then when my brother got married, they were doing wedding pictures, but my dad refused to take any pictures with my mom in the picture. He's like, nope, I'm not gonna do it because like she was there with the new guy, Terry.
Your brother was. I mean, your dad was holding on. He was holding a grudge.
No, he was pissed. But then after that,
then they got back together.
Dad got back together for like 3 years, and then they broke up again. I
think. Okay.
In Florida,
they got back together for 3 years, and they broke up. And how long after that did your dad pass? When did he start showing signs of Alzheimer's? Because I don't think men are designed to be alone, right? Like if a man alone is.
Well, yeah, it was probably around then. Because I do remember he was living on his own, and like I think like my sister went down there and was like, yeah, things aren't looking right. Like he needed help like cleaning up and shit. Mm-hmm. And then I think he got someone, the car happened. I don't know if that was in Cleveland or down there, but then I was already in California by this time. And then so eventually we had to move him up to my dad's or to my brother's place.
Oh, and, so in the end he moved in with your brother.
Moved in with my brother, and then my brother ended up having to move him into like a retirement community.
Because it was too much to try to.
Because he was like one time he was like cutting the grass, my brother's letting him cut the grass, and he's not here in the lawnmower anymore, and he goes out in the backyard, and there's my dad in the little pond. There's a little pond that in the backyard that he fell in, and.
What do you mean? Like he was just standing there and he fell in?
No, well, he's using the automatic lawnmower, and then it's kind of on a slant on a hill going into a pond, and I think he lost his foot and he fell in.
It's old people, their balance, man. They lose their balance. They start falling.
So he started going around then, and then he I don't know. I think it was like a couple years in the home, and then and then that was it.
Okay. So when he passed, he was in a facility and not at home. Like
right.
In the
end, he was in the hospital. Yeah, he wasn't that fucked up. He
recognized you and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. It wasn't. It was and that was part of it. Was like, well, it's probably better he went early because eventually that's what it will become.
Right.
And so he also had like early Parkinson's too, and so he I remember we went to so he couldn't, like one day he couldn't piss. And then he called my brother, and I happened to be in town. It was in like December, and I was in town for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And then we took him to the hospital, and they gave him a catheter right there, like a still catheter. And I didn't look at my dad's dick. I didn't want to see it, but they do it right there, and they pull it out, and something was blacking it up. And honestly, to this day, I still don't know what the cause that ended up killing him, because like he was in the hospital. And then I had to go back to California. And then a month later, he was like dead. And he died in the hospital. I think I don't know if he caught an infection in there or what, but.
Yeah, I was going to say, it probably sounds like maybe an infection, got sepsis or something like that. Possibly, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could always look at it.
But there were already issues that would let him into there,
Well, you could always look at the death certificate. The death certificate will say cause of death. Like for my mom, with her dementia, she died of a thing called metabolic encephalopathy,
Good
which is what
Lord.
happens. Yeah, which is what happens when your brain and your body stop communicating with each other, right? You lose the ability to swallow. You lose your appetite. Like you lose your appetite, and you lose the ability to be thirsty. Meaning, you just aren't ever hungry, right? We eat now because our bodies say, "Oh, it's time to eat." Like I feel weak. I need to recharge. But when your brain and your body aren't connecting, your stomach isn't sending the signal to your brain to let you know that you should eat. So then you never feel hungry. So she stopped eating. And then once you lose the ability to drink or to swallow, which is what she did at the end, then because she wasn't thirsty. I remember seeing her and like her lips were all dry and her mouth was, and you have to make them drink water because they just forget. They don't think about it because they don't have the signals not being sent to drink. So what happens is eventually when the organs aren't getting nourishment, there's a toxin that's released in the body, right? Like it's basically like the organ is starting to die. And when that toxin reaches the brain, then the brain knows that, oh, okay, so everything isn't working. It shuts down and then they die. So it's called metabolic encephalopathy.
Man, that's sad, man. It sucks how the body breaks down and as you get older, man.
Yeah. It's all the brain though, man. Because the brain, this right here controls everything. It's all got the signals. It's getting
brain
signals
and the heart. I mean,
the brain and the heart
helps. How old was your mom when she passed?
96.
Damn, she's old.
Yeah.
She's pretty old. My dad was 72.
Jeez. I mean, you can't retire. Crazy. You don't retire till you're 70, right?
65. Yeah. He died at 65, I think.
65. But if you want to get your full social, you got to go to 70, right? So you get the full social at 70, and then 2 years later, it's a wrap. Dude, that's a bum deal, dude. I mean, think about black people. Black men don't live. Shit, we die at 68. So you legitimately.
Yeah, Chris Rock had that joke. They should start Social Security at 30.
Exactly. I'm like, shit, you don't even get a chance to retire. I mean, damn retiring. I'm like, yo, I might as well just keep working, right? Because it's, there was this guy, this older black dude. He lived for a long time. He just passed away probably last year. And I think he was in his 90s. And he was working for a long time. And people used to ask him all the time, his name was Percy. Like, Percy, why are you still working? Because his wife had died a long time ago and he was living by himself. And I guess he was really active in his church. And there were a lot of women in the church who was trying to get with Percy, man. But Percy was like, man, I ain't got time for it. I'm working. He had his cars and his house and he had his whole setup. He was good, but he was working well until his 80s, right? Late 70s, 80s, right?
What was he doing?
He was working in my industry, maritime industry, but he was in a position with the crew that he had where he didn't have to do any of the physical stuff. They just had him like selling tickets and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So I asked him one time, I go, Percy, why are you like, dude, you well past retirement, go off and enjoy yourself and travel and do stuff, whatever. I'm like, don't you want to just stop working? And he goes, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna go home and sit around? He's like, nah, I would much rather, and I love this. He says, I would much rather wear out than rust out. Right. Right. Like the old car. Yeah. The old car that you rather drive it till the wheels fall off versus just sitting it in the yard and it starts to rust out and then it don't start anymore. The battery's dead. The alternator's gone. The tires are flat. Right. It's starting to dilapidate and break down. It's like, he's like, I'd rather wear out than rust out. And I was like, touche. And dude stayed working well into his 80s and then eventually just got to a point where it's like, okay, he can't, but he still made it till 90 something.
Wow. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. Also, speaking of death and dying, we lost Bill Russell yesterday. 88.
Bill Russell, who you could have met and you chickened out on.
No, I did not.
In the grocery store, you wanted to pay his respect, man. Go talk to Bill Russell, man.
It was called recognizing social cues, which more people need to do. Okay, more people need to recognize social cues. I saw him. We made eye contact. He shot me a glance like, "Not today, young man." And I said, touche. I got that read, coach. It was good enough just to see you.
He's probably, what was your face showing? You're probably beaming too much. He's probably like, you look crazy.
No. What happened was there was a moment of recognition. Like you see a 6'9", 6'10" older black guy, which is very rare because tall people don't live very long because the heart has to work too hard to get the blood throughout the body. Shorter people live longer. It's been documented and proven. But you see a tall, old black guy, right? That's rare. And then I do one of these. I'm like, oh, that's odd. Oh shit. I was like, it literally was this thing.
Where were you
like,
at Whole Foods?
I was at Whole Foods in Oakland, man. I'm walking through and I see this tall old black dude, and I look over like, oh, that's odd. And I do a double take. I legitimately go, like, oh shit, that's Bill Russell. And he saw me do the double take. And then he was like he looked and then he looked away, which was him saying, nah,
Was this in an aisle, or is this where was it in the grocery store?
Okay, so the way Whole Foods is set up, right? You got the cash registers here, or the cashiers are here, and then they have this whole middle section where they have the hot food, the hot bar, right? So this is the front of the store here, and then you got the cash registers here, and you got this hot bar, and then behind that you have like the not quite the deli section, but just like the pre-made food, and where you can have sandwiches made. And so there's a whole section, right? There's a whole section. And he was between the hot food bar and the deli section, right?
Well, was he getting a sandwich or something?
Nah, he was standing there. He was with someone and they were doing something. So he was just standing there with the cart, right? Like, or he just standing there. And they were at the deli section getting whatever. And that's when I was coming around this way. He's over here. I'm coming this way. And that's when I see him. And I'm just like, oh, that's Bill. Like, that's Bill. It registers Bill Russell. And I was about to go say something. And he was just like, he looked away.
He looked the other way, dude.
He looked away. And I was like, I was like, dang. Because had he seen me do the double take and have that moment of recognition, and then he goes, then I would have gone over and be like, hey, hi, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Reggie Steele. I never got a chance to see you play, obviously, but a huge fan, basketball player, former basketball player, collegiate player, played overseas. Just want to say thank you for your contributions and everything you've done right. For society and for Black people and for the sport and for the game. You know what I mean? Just say that and then be like, hey, have a great day. And if he was up for it, I was like, I would love to get a picture with you if it's possible. And if he would have been receptive, then I'd be like, great, get my selfie. But then
it's tough when he looks away and then you'd have to grab his attention again. That'd be tough.
Well, and plus, if someone looks away and you go
that's
over,
not a good. You're a dick,
that's
man.
Social cues. Listen to me, world. Anybody out there, if you see a celebrity or you see somebody who's done something, if you see somebody that you want to talk to, and they look at you and they look away, you cannot talk to them, right? Regardless of what you want to do, right? Like, but I love that movie. I don't give a flying flip. You just gotta take that.
Flip. I'm offended. You called. Fuck you.
Exactly. You got to take that L.
That kind of happened to me. I told you that, right, with Richard Jefferson, where
I
I kind of met him. Like it was after the Lakers game. They were outside of this hotel, and he was going into the hotel, and he was pushing a baby stroller.
Yeah,
which is already probably the social cue, but not for Sal. And I'm like, dude, this is the only guy who won the championship, right? The only time in my city's history. So I was like, Richard Jefferson from Cleveland, big fan. I'd never seen this before. Dude shook my hand and didn't even make eye contact. I'm like, that's gangsters.
He kept it moving, bro. He kept
pushing the stroller and looked the other way. Gave me a handshake though. I was like, oh wow.
All right. But so let me share this with you real quick. So this weekend, so I'm friends with Lloyd Pierce, right? Lloyd Pierce is talking about this is just phenomenal things, but Lloyd Pierce was he's coached with the Warriors, and then he's with Cleveland when LeBron was there. So he and LeBron are friends. Then he was in Memphis, and then he was in Philadelphia, right? He's been there with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And then he got the head coaching job of the Atlanta Hawks during right. And so he had them during the pandemic and a little bit before and during the pandemic and afterwards for a moment. And then he was released, and now he's with the Indiana Pacers. But he was also
is he head coach there or no?
No, he's the first assistant. He's the first assistant. So but he was also an assistant coach on the 2020 Olympic team in Tokyo, right? Oh. So Lloyd hits me up about 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "Yo, I'm having a barbecue." He's like, "I'm thinking about getting some people together just to hang out because I'm in the Bay for a minute, and love for you to come out." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, right." So this past weekend, he had the barbecue. I went out, and it was great, man, because he's like, I don't get out here that often because I'm mostly based on the East Coast, or I've been back East for years. He's been in the NBA now for like 15 years.
Wow.
And so he was like, instead of me trying to go and see everybody, he's like, I just figured I'd have a barbecue and have everybody come to one spot and then I can see everybody. So he comes in, he has his food, he's got his family, his high school friends, he's got some college friends. Like, I really felt privileged because I'm like, I didn't go to high school with him. We went to rival colleges.
How'd you know? Just playing against them in college?
Well, this is an interesting story. It's a great story of how I met Lloyd Pierce. When I was in San Jose City, I used to, in the summer times, I didn't go home. I stayed out in the summer to work on my game and to work the camps and stuff, right? Well, a part of that was they would have these high school summer leagues that would come through the campus and play games, right? They have these tournaments. I'm working the scoreboard or the not the scoreboard, either the scoreboard or the scorebook, either one. And I see this kid, and I'm like, yo, this kid is good. Like, I'm talking about, he was arguably, hands down, no questions asked, the most talented player on the court, right? Now, he wasn't a point guard, but they had him playing the point guard position. And I figured in that moment, I go, he doesn't have the handles of a point guard, right? He didn't dribble the ball well enough to be a point guard. But I assumed that the coach was like, look, we got to get the ball in his hands as soon as possible. All right. Like the fact that it's got to go through another kid before it gets to him, that's too much. So they had him playing the one. And I remember one time he comes down, he gets the ball, the other team scores, they throw it in bounds, he gets the ball, and within 3 seconds, 4 seconds, this dude has pushed the ball up court, he's gone through everybody, and he takes off with 1 foot and just dunks on the whole team. He dunked on his team, the opposing team, he dunked on the referees, he dunked on little kids playing on the baseline, he dunked on everybody. And I was like, I did one of these numbers, I was like, who is this dude? Hold up. Lloyd Pierce? Okay. So after the game, I go up to him, I go, hey man, Reggie Steele. I said, I go to school here. I just got to tell you, man, you're extremely talented. Love to see you play, man. Keep going, keep working hard. Like, just, on some older, like, I'm in college and you're in high school, but you are good. So keep working hard. So he, that year was his senior year. That was my sophomore year. After his senior year, he went to Santa Clara. I then went to St. Mary's. So then we're playing against each other, right? I'm a junior, he's a freshman. And so see him, show up for the game. Oh man, I just froze. Show up for the game. And it's like, yo, what's up, man? Oh, snap, right? That whole thing. And that was for a couple years. And then I graduate, do whatever I'm doing. He finished his last 2 years at Santa Clara. He played with Steve Nash too, so he's good friends with Nash.
Oh, wow.
Right. And after that, I go do my thing. He does his thing. We end up playing together in the San Francisco Pro-Am. We played there for like 3 years or something in the summers. So that's when our friendship really got solidified, of playing these games and seeing each other every week. And then he got into the NBA. And then every time he'd come to town, he'd hit me up and be like, yo, I'm having a get together here. I'm having this. So I would go to these get togethers, and it would just be like some of his Santa Clara teammates, me, a couple of the guys that we played with, and then his friends. So I got to know his friends. And then lo and behold, man, he got the barbecue and I made the cut. I even said to him, I go, yo, man, I go, look, I get that this is your family, these your high school friends, your college friends. And he was like, yeah, man, I just wanted to get everybody together because whatever. And I go, hey, man, look, I'm just happy I made the cut, bro. Like, I'm just happy to be here.
Was you just go by yourself?
No, I went with the fam. I took.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because then I'm like, because if you don't really know many people there, like, who do you? I guess you just mingle.
No, but I knew his friends. I knew a lot of his friends.
No Warriors showed up?
No. Nah, because he was only with the Warriors. He was with the Warriors when Keith Smart was the head coach.
No LeBron or Joel Embiid were there?
Nah, no.
I was waiting for that. Like, look at this picture I got.
No, I want to show you this one. So then,
Did you tell him though to hook us up with meeting LeBron?
I could do that with my boy Phil Handy's on the Lakers.
Oh, right. The Lakers guy. Well, we better hurry up because Bronny's gonna get in soon, and then LeBron's gonna leave.
Look, we'll go to a game this year. I'll hit up Phil, and then
all right.
I'm gonna get Mahershala involved too, so we can sit courtside.
Yeah, that's our best shot. That's our best shot.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be 3 tickets. It may just only be 2.
What the hell are you talking about?
But I'm saying, come to the game though. You can still come to the game. You just might not be able to sit on the court with us.
What is no, dude? No, dude. That's even worse.
I'm joking. But hold up, though. I want to finish telling you this. So Lloyd, at some point during the barbecue, he grabs the microphone and he's telling everybody, he's basically thanking everyone for coming out and for being there, and that
What is this? His house, his Bay Area house you're at?
No. This is we're at a park in Fremont. Like
okay. Shit, just out
right,
in the open.
Out in the open. There's a playground for the kids. It's on this lake. There's a swim park not far away. It's a nice spot. He gets on the mic and he's thanking everyone for being there and how he's been wanting to do this. And he's like, I'm so busy. I just really want to have a time where I can come together and just not do anything, right? Like just do nothing and just hang out with my people. He's like, I want to play dominoes and play cards and just drink and like kick it, right? But then he goes, I also want to share this experience with you. And he starts talking about his time in NBA. And he's like, look, I've never, I've never bragged about this. He's like, I've been in the league for 15 years. And for me, it's a job and whatever else. But he goes, I had the opportunity to be on the coaching staff for this year for the Olympic team and this, that, and the other. And he'd been on the Olympic team before where he was a coach, right? So he goes, most people don't know this, but the coaches don't get gold medals, only the players, right? The coaches get rings, right? They get a ring, but they don't get gold medals. He goes, I want to tell you this story. He goes, is there any KD haters out there? Then I can't agree with you, right? He goes, I can't agree with you on being a KD hater, because when KD found out that none of the coaches got gold medals, he then donated his gold medal to have replicas made for the coaches.
That's cool.
So they can get gold medals. So then he's like, so he breaks out this box and he goes, and here's the gold medal from the Tokyo Games, right? And then here's the ring. And you know me, I'm like, I can't wear somebody else's jewelry, right? But
there's the medal, huh?
There's the medal.
Yo, yep. I mean, I told you when they scanned my face for the NBA 2K game, the guy was telling me of all the players he met and stuff. Yeah. And he told me a great story about KD where he worked with him once. And then like 6 months later, he saw him in a hotel lobby in Vegas and he walked out. He recognized him. He came back to say hi. What's the ring? What's the ring from? Oh, that's from from the Olympics too?
From the Olympics too. That's the ring that the coaches get, right? So
is that real gold?
It's real gold. I held it.
That's dope.
Dude, I held it. When I say that joint is heavy, it was heavy, right? I had the ring. I was like, yo, the ring is nice. On the side, it has, Olympic Games 2020, and then it has his name, Pierce. And then it has around the top, it has USA, and then around it, it has all the years that they've won the gold medal. But what is the other one thing? It says USA basketball champions. It's real cool, man. But this is the thing too. He goes, because then I'm not gonna get all to the details about what he said about the players and stuff, but he did say, he goes, man, look, KD is real. He says KD is real. He said KD would come out here and hang with us at this park, right? He said we would be here. He'd just be sitting over to the side, and you'd be kind of sitting there like, wait, hold up, is that KD? Like, oh snap! Like he said he's real down to earth. He goes, guys that are down to earth. He goes, LeBron is down to earth. He's real. He goes, KD is down to earth and he's real. He's like Damian Lillard, down to earth and real. He told me a great story about Devin Booker. And then he threw out a couple guys who's like, yo, if that dude showed up, he showed up in his sunglasses and a whole team of people, and you wouldn't be able to get close to him. He just said there's a couple people in some bullshit. So.
I'm trying to think, who could that be?
Yeah, right. He's like, yo, this guy right now, this guy's in some bullshit, man. So, but it was great, man. We got to talk about, what it's like, coaching and even being fired, right? And what that felt like and what it meant. And it was great the way he expressed it, because he was just like, yo, hey man, it's a part of the business. And he's like, there was
he was head coach for the Hawks for what, just a 1 year?
No, he had like 2, maybe 2.5, almost 3 years.
Oh, that's right. And then Trae Young came in, and then he went out. The coach went out,
basically.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so, we talked about that whole thing, and he was like, dude, he's so mature, he's so wise, he's so down to earth. He's like, look, he goes, I am not without fault, right? He's like, I'm not without fault, but it's a business, and it's an organization, and they have goals and their things. And I even said, I was like, so, they invest money in this direction. Like coaches in the NBA are kind of expendable or disposable in a certain way.
Then you get fired, you still get paid, which has got to be nice.
Yeah, exactly. But it was great, man. I was like, man, I'd love to get Lloyd on here someday, but he's super busy, dude. But I'm
Oh
telling you right
yeah,
now,
dude, you got to get on that. And
I'm
then
gonna
you
send you
didn't
this
get.
joint so you can post it. But that right there, when you see it, hold up, let me see if I can get it right.
Yeah, just send it to me.
Yeah, like,
That's
oh
sick,
man,
though.
that
That's
is,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
All right, so let's get back
All
to
right,
what
so
you want to talk about
let's end on
originally.
these comments, and then we're
Okay,
done already.
okay.
Okay, so some people did like it last week. So then here I'm going to share the page, and so then you could see it. So let me know if you can see this. All right, is this visible?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so it says, so this woman gave us a nice comment from last week.
Okay.
Maria, and she said, so have you yet to miss an episode? Have to say, every guest you've had on the cast has been fascinating to watch, listen, and learn about. As a woman who self heals with cannabis, yeah. I appreciated Charlene and her story so much so that I couldn't help but actually leave a comment. Can't wait to share her story with others. And it should reach someone who knows someone who knows someone with a farm looking for trimmers. I'm gonna hit her up and check her podcast out too. Fascinating and inspiring guy. Sal and Reggie did it again with another cool guest.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, I responded.
Oh yeah, you did respond. So did
Yeah.
Charlene. So that was nice. But then as I was looking, I was like, oh, we also got a hate comment this week.
No way. Oh wait, hold on. What did Charlene say?
Oh, Charlene said, hi, Charlene here. Thanks so much for your comment. It warms my heart to know that you appreciate my story and plan on spreading the word about healing with cannabis. Much love and thanks to Sal and Reggie for having me on.
Okay. I actually reached out to her on Charlene on Facebook, just to friend her. Yeah.
Yeah. She's cool, man.
Okay. And
all right,
so
but
said,
the most I don't want to say a week go by, but like about once a month, maybe we get like a hate comment. And it's all on the Kevin Shea, Bobby Lee. So here, let me is this Sharon? Let me
hey, look, I got on the same hat. Do I have on the same shirt?
is this the one? Yeah. So and I got the same hat, right?
That's funny. Look at us.
Okay, so this is funny. So Kevin talked about the whole thing. We all know what happened at the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Where well, there's all of these.
Wait,
Look
hold
at
on.
all these.
Did somebody just put black guy?
Yeah,
Like they
so it
couldn't say
says
my name?
someone wrote Korean guy does a thing, black guy. That's some white people shit.
I didn't say that though. That was
I
Kevin
think you
said that.
did. You know, you said that in a video.
Korean guy does a thing, black guy.
5 people like that comment.
That's some white people shit. Okay, that's funny. Okay.
Someone see, here's the common thing though. Kevin made fun of Bobby for not being as well known as Ken, and this video has a measly 700 views. Well, now it has 3,400, which still isn't good.
Well, how long is this clip?
This clip is what, 2.5 minutes? 3 minutes. It's a long one. It's not one of those. Let's get quick. So this is the one that we got recently, and this one I kind of want to reply on here right now. So let's see. Can you see it? If I right, but it says, "How does it feel to be an unknown loser while Bobby is a legend?"
That's hilarious.
Now hold on, dude.
Wait, are you gonna respond? You're gonna respond for Shay? That's the Shay.
I was just gonna go. No. That's or maybe.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter who it's to.
It's to Shay. How does it feel to be an unknown loser while Bobby is a legend? That's not to us. That's to Shay.
It's always to us.
That's funny.
I mean, Bobby, look, there's another one where they come at here's one that's at us. Oh, I did reply to this one. How does it feel that Bobby is a huge star and you can't get 50 subscribers? And I wrote,
but they're talking.
Who cares? I was like, comedians don't get into comedy for subscribers. Just enjoy the stories in life. Don't obsess over stardom and followers. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
Well, and then, then he tried to hit me again. Well, good for you. So Street Painter is just as good as Leonardo da Vinci. And I wrote, Banksy has made way more money in his life than da Vinci.
That's funny. That's a great response, actually.
Yeah, see, so it's fun sometimes. So this guy, I'm just gonna write, how does it feel to be an unknown loser while Bobby is a legend?
Dude, but he's talking to Shay. He's talking to Shay.
But it doesn't matter. You should defend your guest, Reggie. You don't.
Okay,
don't
you're right.
I'm just gonna write, ha ha ha, a legend.
A legend.
No, right.
The bar
Richard
is so
Pryor
low.
is a legend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how far are we lowering this bar?
Richard Pryor is a legend. There we go. That's it. That's all I need to say, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's good. That's
all
good.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. That's hilarious. A legend? Yeah, really. I'm like, come on, man.
It's just funny because Shay
legend.
told us about the amount of his
hate that he gets.
fans.
Yeah,
and he'll get hate, and you could, I get it now. They love him, but whatever. I got no shade towards the guy.
Yeah, no shade.
But and it's funny. Some people were like, "Hey, Bobby was wrong," and some people called him a piece of shit. It's just a little battle, but it's funny. People love a little conflict.
I think if you listen to the whole story, right? If you listen to the whole story and how it plays out, then yeah, I think you can easily say that Bobby was wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Because Bobby Bobby drew first blood. Right.
First smack. It didn't seem like it was that bad for either of them, really.
Right.
And it was a little scuffle.
And let's be honest, man, all this stuff in life, honestly, in the end, it's just a good story. It's just a fun story. It's just a fun story because it ain't affecting nobody. Ain't nobody's lives being changed by these events, really. Right. Like Shay's still working, Bobby's still working, and everyone's fine. So
hey, you got a guest for next week, Reg? I see. Did you practice the computer with your buddy, the dinosaur of comedy?
Oh.
Because he's got a show this week.
Does he?
That. Yeah, him
and Johnny Steele and
Meehan, I thought.
Michael Meehan.
Michael Meehan. Yeah.
Michael Meehan, and then Johnny Steele is usually on that show too. And sometimes they'll bring in what's his name, Pearl.
Yeah. So find out if this shit works, dude, and see if you could hook it up next week.
Okay, I'll see if I can get Larry on. I would love to dude. Larry is like a walking history book of SF comedy. I mean, we had
baseball. Dude knows baseball.
And
nobody's business.
Look, we had OJ Mayo. I mean, we had OJ Patterson, and they wrote the whole book about it, but Larry lived it. Larry was at the Holy City Zoo. Larry knew these people who went on to become legends, right? And Larry, even to his credit, Larry had his moments where he could have easily he could have moved to LA.
Could have blown up more. Yeah. I mean, I told you I was in the green room and I was opening for Larry and Attell. And Attell always would use Larry out on the West Coast. And then he asked him, "Hey man, how far will you travel?" And Larry's like, "The Tahoe."
Yeah, Larry.
Like, you don't fly. And
he don't fly. I know. Man, but that's his thing though. It's his thing, and it kind of feeds into his legend because Larry was also Jay Leno used to always say that Larry Bubbles Brown was his favorite comic. He said that for a long time.
Jay Leno said that.
Jay Leno. Also, Larry Bubbles has.
Well, you never had him on the Tonight Show. Yeah, the longest gap between late shows. That's true.
Yeah, he had the longest gap of appearances between David Letterman. Yeah, right. The Late Show with David Letterman at one point, and then the second time
it was like what, like the 80s,
20 years or
2000s.
Yeah, it was like a 20-year gap. That just goes to show how relevant, right? Like this guy.
Oh yeah, he's a one-liner guy. It's great for that.
It is, but he had a great set too when I watched it.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
So I would love to hear, and I mean, Larry's friends with the guys who wrote for the Simpsons. Like he knew those dudes before they went down to LA and became writers on arguably one of the best animated shows in the history of television. Right. So Larry's got stories for days, man. I'm like, yo, let's get those on the cast.
Hook it up, Reg. Hook it up.
I'll make sure his joint works, and then we'll get Larry on.
You're good at making sure his joint works. All right, dude, close us out.
I guess you're using that mug for more than just drinking, I'm sure, right? Yeah, exactly. Go have fun with your mug, bro.
Yeah. Well, all right. It's more of a Reggie Steele size.
How would you know?
I've been told. Rumors fly quick.
Really? That's hilarious. I'm like, oh, look, I just froze again. Okay. All right, man. I feel like I need to defend myself, but not really. So, yeah, exactly. So, hey, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it. We love doing it. We're going to keep doing it. Please listen, subscribe,
leave in your comments.
Share.
Good and bad.
Please leave your comments. Sal loves to respond If you can make them positive, that would be great. Right? Some positive feedback.
Oh, and I'll put some up to vote. Dr. Doom versus Darth Vader.
Oh, there you go.
There's no way you're winning that. No way you're winning that poll. Take that shit to the bank, son.
Dude, I love you, Sal. I absolutely do. I love you, man. So,
Doom.
all right, Dr. Doom. I'm telling you, Dr. Doom, Darth Vader. It's a what happens?
I've never heard that in my life.
Dr. Doom what happens? Tough. What happens when an unstoppable object meets an immovable force, or an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Boom! That's what you get. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Boom.
Yo, the force is gonna fuck that object up.
Yeah, I doubt it.
All right, close this out, Reg.
I've been trying to. You always interrupt me. So, hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing, and please share and like and leave your comments. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin. Peace.